MrBro witnessed a 99.4% decrease in monthly views and a 97.9% decrease in monthly subscribers, a fall that is rarely seen in the YouTube community. And when it seemed like MrBeast's cloning experiment failed, a light appeared at the end of the tunnel. On the 14th of April 2022, fellow YouTuber SunnyV2 created the video titled "Why MrBeast's Brother Didn't Succeed on YouTube," and since being posted, many things have changed. Thank you so much for 50,000 subscribers. It honestly means the world to me. If you aren't subscribed already, I create high-value documentary style videos, so if that's your thing, make sure you hit subscribe. On the 29th of August 2019, in a video titled "I am MrBeast's Secret Brother," MrBeast's brother CJ would be revealed to the world.
Hey everyone, my name is CJ. I'm MrBeast's unknown brother, and we're gonna see what happens.
CJ would also explain his plans to take over YouTube by making MrBeast style content, but with a twist.
Unfortunately, I'm poor, so I decided to do a dumbed down version of my brother's videos.
Not even 2 days later, on the 1st of September, everything would change, when MrBeast himself would publish a video titled "I gave my brother 24 hours to spend $100,000. A video where MrBeast would give his brother CJ $100,000 as well as everything he needed to be successful on YouTube. MrBeast was ultimately acting as CJ's YouTube manager by supplying and controlling nearly all aspects of his channel, down to the employees, warehouse and office space, thumbnails, and video ideas. MrBro was essentially aimed at being a clone of MrBeast to add to the MrBeast network. This was likely in order to help fund MrBeast's larger projects, whilst also giving his brother and his crew's siblings a well-paying job. Something MrBeast does surprisingly well is being conscious about the impacts his actions have on the world around him. Due to all of our individual actions and lifestyles, we emit dangerous amounts of CO2, aka carbon dioxide. And a major side effect from having our massive carbon footprints is what is called the greenhouse effect, a problem which wreaks havoc with the world's climate by doing things such as heating up our planet, melting our Arctic, and destroying our coral reefs. Luckily, there is a simple and effective way you can make a difference in the climate crisis, and that is with today's sponsor, Wren. Wren is a public benefit organization that makes it super easy to calculate and offset your carbon footprint. By answering a couple of questions about your lifestyle, you can find out about your carbon footprint and what you can do to reduce it. Wren has already planted over 20 million trees. Once you make a monthly contribution to offset your carbon footprint, you'll receive monthly updates from the projects you support. You'll get to see exactly what your money is spent on, with photos and detail of every tree planted, every acre reforested, and every ton of carbon offset. Using the link in the description, Wren will plant an extra 10 trees for the first 100 people to sign up. So head over to wren.co using the link in the description or pinned comment to check it out. Now back to the video. The shoutout from MrBeast would go as you would expect, with the MrBro channel gaining 1.2 million subscribers within a week. On top of that, an instant 4 million views across his videos. After the huge shoutout, CJ would post a video titled "I Can Break Glass with My Voice," a video that would successfully ride off the shoutout, gaining 3.6 million views. This video was followed up by several more videos, varying between 1 to 3 million views. It was the picture perfect dream for any YouTuber. But beyond the rose-tinted glasses, things weren't as good as they seemed they were on the surface. Even with videos worth of practice and all the supplies and support he could ever wish for, CJ still lacked the charisma and energy that made MrBeast so entertaining. And even with the higher budget and most of the hard work done by MrBeast's employees, it just resulted in each video feeling like a MrBeast video without the MrBeast part, creating some type of off-brand vibes. Rather than having his own personal branding, MrBro is fully capitalizing that his younger brother is MrBeast, and for the most part, rather than people clicking on the video out of genuine interest for the topic at hand, it was almost like the majority clicked onto the video just to see what MrBeast's brother looked and sounded like. The novelty of being MrBeast's brother would slowly wear off, with comments such as
"This man needs some fresh content,"
indicating that CJ's audience actually wanted to see some original and fresh videos, not just lower budget worse remakes of existing MrBeast content. Most channels on YouTube start by posting similar content to those that they are inspired from, and inspiration is okay, but it is at some point of their career that they are expected to pivot and add their own personal value to the content. People were viewing CJ as a soulless MrBeast clone, but the thing is, CJ wasn't a soulless clone. Sure, his videos lacked depth and personality, but CJ never really got the chance to show that he was a genuine person with his own identity. It truly seemed like he really wanted to succeed on YouTube, but not in this way. The top comment on Sunny's video puts it well. Being called an off-brand channel because of your own brother's success can be extremely demotivating, I imagine. It's possible that CJ felt trapped posting this type of content, like he was simply an actor trying to act as his younger brother. It didn't help either that he was heavily relying on the audience from MrBeast's shoutout, and the ideas, editing, and thumbnails from MrBeast's crew. People didn't know CJ for being CJ, they knew him as MrBeast's older brother, and even over a course of time, his confidence on camera never really did improve. The crew felt awkward, and the view count on his video slowly depleted with each upload. But that's not to say he still wasn't killing it number-wise. Compared to other channels, MrBro was a phenomenal success, but in just the span of 1 month, his views would already be down 82.2%, a huge loss for a channel of any size. It was also clear to the audience that the channel was more of a money-making experiment from MrBeast compared to an actual unique channel for CJ to express himself on, and the comments would often embrace that, with comments like, "Just here protecting Jimmy's investment." Jimmy invested a lot of money and time into the channel, so it expected the uploads would be as frequent and as well planned out as his own channel. But over time, it seemed like the videos began to feel more and more spaced out, leading up to the 6th of June 2021, when CJ would publish his final long-form video, a video titled "Spin This Wheel, Win $10,000. And the comments on this video heavily reflected the public opinion of his MrBro channel. CJ is the Wish version of Jimmy. MrBro would go out with a sizzle by posting a single short 6 months after his final long-form video, followed up by radio silence. CJ disappeared from the public eye. CJ didn't seem to have had the chance to build a personal relationship with his audience, but even with that being said, he was still missed. And if you had only seen Sunny's video, this is about where the story would end. As up until recently, there have been no new updates, but this was up until the 9th of June 2022, when CJ would post his first tweet in almost 1 year. Is this thing on? This tweet would be the marking point of CJ's grand return to YouTube, as just 2 days later, on the 11th, he would follow it up with a second tweet, this time stating, "A new era starts tomorrow at 4 PM EST. CJ would announce a new era for his journey, this time hinting at gaming-based content. And looking at the replies, the audience that did stick around were genuinely happy to see CJ return. Glad to see you back in the game. Looking forward to it." And as promised, he did return. However, this time not on the MrBro channel, rather a new channel, a channel named CJ These Days. CJ had started a new channel from 0 subscribers, and this time was attempting to make it on YouTube without having it all handed to him by his brother, likely so he can develop his own style, audience, and experience on YouTube. And starting from the bottom had a benefit, because when you're at the bottom, there's only one way to go. After just 3 videos, CJ would reach 50 subscribers, and entering July, CJ would reach the milestone of 10,000 subscribers. The growth on his new channel was impressive, especially considering how he was starting it from the ground up. The videos on the channel would feature CJ and his friends playing Minecraft challenges together. The content was wholesome, and this time, rather than people watching these videos to check out what MrBeast's brother looks like, they watched the videos for the topic, and then realized it was MrBeast's brother. This allowed CJ to finally have the liberty to grow his own audience under his own name. And whilst the channel was nowhere near as viral as MrBro, the growth he was witnessing was steady, and CJ would enter August by hitting 30,000 subscribers. His viewers could clearly tell that it was finally doing something he was more passionate about, especially compared to the off-brand MrBeast videos, with a comment on his video stating, "I love how you do what you love on YouTube now." The future is genuinely looking bright for CJ, and I definitely think it's the right move to start a channel from the ground up, especially in order to learn the basics of YouTube, to build his own identity, and to narrowly avoid what I call the MrBeast effect, or what Pinely over here calls the MrBeastification. Whatever you want to call it, the MrBeast effect is essentially the amount of people creating channels or videos aiming to completely replicate MrBeast. Now of course, being inspired by MrBeast makes sense. He's the most successful YouTuber on the platform after all, and that's for good reason. But there are a lot of creators going on the path that MrBro once traveled, on a path attempting to become a MrBeast clone. If you've seen content from creators like Matthew Beam, Phidias, or Carter Scherer, you'll know exactly what I mean. Now, not to say that these creators aren't or won't be successful, in fact, everybody mentioned is incredibly successful, especially compared to me. It's just that they are likely to eventually run into the same problems as MrBro, being known as a copy or lesser version of someone else. The most interesting thing about the MrBeast effect is going to be seeing how these content creators pivot and adapt their content to the algorithm and trends of the future YouTube. We can already see that from what was once a rare MrBeast style thumbnail, typically involving graphically enhanced faces, vibrant colors, and over-the-top CGI, is in a way the norm. There is such an abundance of these thumbnails that they stand out less and less. I mean, if we put 8 of these thumbnails directly next to each other, it's almost like they all just blend in, compared to how it would have looked back in the day when it was mainly MrBeast doing these thumbnails. If there was one lesson to be taken out from the tragic fall of MrBro, it's that you simply can't have YouTube success handed to you on a platter. It's that bloodthirsty grind to go from 0 to 100 subscribers and then 100 to 1,000 that is so crucial at building an identity, gaining knowledge on the platform, and earning respect from your viewers. It seems like CJ learnt that lesson the hard way, but is now finally on the best path he could possibly be on. Thanks for watching, and once again, thank you to Ren for sponsoring this video. If you want to see more content like this, hit subscribe.